It is hard to believe that this little girl here is 4 years old and has lived in 4 countries. What 4 countries have you lived in? 1.
America.
2.
Dubai.
Or the UAE is the country. 3.
Canada.
You haven't lived in Canada? Where did you live last year? What country? Where did Daddy play last time?
Shiga.
Yeah, Shiga, Japan. And number 4, where did you live when you were a small baby?
Italy.
Alright, so little Miss Silly is officially in bed. I quickly saw that that video was not going to happen the way that I pictured it with her awake. And so I went ahead and got her situated and in bed for the evening and made myself a cup of tea. Today was actually her first day back at school. She was out sick all last week, and gosh, having her out sick has me so thankful that she has a school, that we were able to find a place that the kids love and that we love, that they can learn and grow here during our time in the UAE. Everyone asks me all the time why I don't homeschool the kids with as much as we travel. Her week out sick was a reminder of why I do not homeschool. I give all the props to the homeschooling mamas, but that is just not me. As I was saying, Harper is 4 years old and she has lived in 4 countries. Of course, she's lived in America, where she's from, Italy, Japan, and now the UAE. And quite honestly, I feel like even at just 4 years old, she is being shaped so much by, each of the countries that she's lived in. She loves pasta, which is a nod to her having her first bites of solid ever in Italy. She is a person that thrives with order and routine, which is a nod to her time in Japan. And I cannot wait to see what comes of our time here in the UAE and kind of what she picks up from our time here and takes with her as she continues to grow and mature and develop into the beautiful little lady that she's becoming. Harper has attended international preschools in both Japan and here in the UAE this basketball season. In all, including the schools that she's also attended in America, she has been to 5 preschools. So we have kind of had our fair share of school experiences, even for her to be as young as she is. And I actually asked her the other night if she remembered, the first school that she went to in America and if she remembered school in Japan. And she honestly doesn't seem to remember very much. I guess it's just that, she is still young, and so it's kind of out of sight, out of mind. Once you leave an environment, it doesn't really stick with you that much, but they definitely remember her. I actually got a comment on my Instagram recently from a parent of a child that Harper went to school with in Japan. And basically she was like, that her son asks about Harper all the time and is always asking when Harper is coming back to, the school in Japan. And this has been, gosh, what is it now? November. So May, June, July, August, September, October, November. It's been 6 months, since we left Japan. And so the fact that that little boy is still thinking about Harper, it really melts my heart just knowing that she is leaving such a lasting impact, on the kids and the staff everywhere that she goes. The schools everywhere that we have been, of course, have been different, just like the cultures have been different. And so I thought it'd be fun to kind of compare and contrast all of the different schools that Harper has attended in her 4 short years on this earth. So let's start with Japan. In Japan, and of course I can only speak to our experiences, which could be completely different from, someone else who also attended international schools in Japan. But in Japan, Harper went to 2 different international preschools. My husband actually got traded mid last season in Japan, and so we ended up moving teams and moving cities, and so she started at one international preschool and then she moved to another. The first international preschool was a true international school in that all of the staff, or the majority of the staff, were international, mostly European and a lot of British, and also it seemed like the families for the most part were international in that one or both parents had like spent time living outside of Japan. The kids, for the most part, already spoke pretty decent English. It was kind of a true international school. And then the second school that she went to definitely had more traditional Japanese school feels, except for it was all in English. And so it was also considered an international school since, all of the curriculum was in English, but it definitely had a different feel. It felt more of an English speaking Japanese school versus the first one that felt more like an international school. So the first international school in Japan was, like I said, truly an international school. They utilized a British curriculum for the most part, and they went all the way from like nursery age to, I believe, like second or third grade. Harper definitely wasn't like the oldest student in the school, but they also had like another location close by that was like babies, So it started with like very young kids and went up to kids that were a few years older than Harper. For the most part, for her age, it was like very play-based. They did a lot of like arts and crafts, a lot of projects, a lot of things like that. It was very play-based, but then they also did a lot of, learning stuff as well, mostly like things that she was learning as at home, in pre-K, like writing and letter sounds and things like that. This school did a great job like incorporating a global worldview. They learned about holidays from around the world, American holidays, European holidays, and Japanese holidays and customs. They even had like a Christmas performance where they sang little Christmas songs and things like that. And it definitely felt like they were trying to raise these children up to be like citizens of the world and to be knowledgeable and aware of like a lot of different cultures. This is also the first school where we learned about indoor shoes. Like in America, we don't have indoor shoes, but in almost every other country, including Japan, where I think it kind of originated, you change from your outdoor shoes to your indoor shoes when you enter school, or in Japan when you enter like a lot of different places. And so this was the first time that Harper had to have like indoor shoes and things like that. And overall, like she had a really, really great experience. She was definitely thriving at this school. We were really sad to have to leave it. And it was so sweet. They actually like made her like a scrapbook with like letters from all the staff and everyone in her class, like just kind of sharing their like experiences with her and what they had learned from her and all of that. And it was so touching. DJ and I have not still been able to make it through the book reading all the messages to Harper without crying. So we will have to definitely do that on another vlog, because like it was just so sweet. And again, one of those things that like melts my heart, knowing that she impacts people, to this level, even being so little, with all of our travels and all the people that she meets along the way. So the next school that Harper went to in Japan was a school that I mentioned that felt more like a Japanese school, but English speaking. They were really big on routine, order, and cleanliness. It seems like they were preparing their students to go into like a traditional Japanese school once they left this school. This school went all the way from, I think it was like 2 years old up to, I want to say, fourth grade. And so they went for quite a while. It wasn't like full elementary school, but it was definitely more than like a nursery school or a preschool. Here, there was a lot of structure, like even for me. I remember, one time I was getting her ready to go on a field trip, and they had like detailed rules for like what should be in your kid's bag, what you should pack for lunch, like down to like pack this, and this, like very detailed, and like no room really for individuality, no room to stray from the norm. We even had like a little bit of a situation there. Harper had beads on the bottom of her braids, and they pretty much like told me that like she couldn't have beads on the bottom of her hair, and that like she wasn't really supposed to be wearing her earrings and her necklace and her bracelet to school, because like they really wanted all of the students to be uniform. To which, if you knew me, I was like, yeah, no. I was like, she can take off her necklace so it doesn't get broken, but like she wears her earrings all the time, so she's not taking them out. And like her having beads on her hair is honestly a part of our culture, so I need you guys to respect that. And if anyone has any questions about it, maybe you should try teaching them about our culture a little bit. And, you know, I'd be glad to come in and help with that if you guys need it. So we had, you know, a little bit of an issue with that. And I definitely, looking back, don't really think that it was the best environment for Harper. I think it was the best international school in our area for her. However, comparing it to other environments that we've been in, I don't think it was the best situation for her. Honestly, just because it was too rigid. And I feel like if she had stayed there longer than she did, it would have probably started to like stifle her creativity, and just like it being so structured and, like I said, so rigid, like having so many rules, I really think that it kind of fueled her anxiety a little bit, like having her be afraid to be wrong, you know, and like mess up on one of the routines or something like that. And so, you know, even though I feel like I don't really believe in like regrets, and I feel like, you know, part of that experience has helped her to like, you know, learn how to be neat and like clean and orderly. I definitely, looking back, I'm like, yeah, like if we went back to that area, like we probably wouldn't go back to that school. We'd probably try to figure something else out. But, you know, in parenting as in life, you kind of, you know, learn as you go. And I feel like it will definitely help her be a more well-rounded person going forward. And that experience helped me to figure out what to look for in our next international school. All that being said, educationally, the school was great, and she came back to America actually kind of ahead, you know, when it came to like reading readiness and things like that. She definitely learned a lot, and this is also the school where she started to pick up some basic Japanese, because the most of the students in her class they weren't quite fluent in English. You know, they were like, she could communicate with them, but they still spoke some Japanese, you know, in the classroom, and she started to pick up on it, which I think was great and I think was helpful for her, you know, long term. So that brings me to our school here in the UAE. And like I said, you know, our experience last season and her experiences in both schools in Japan definitely enabled me to be able to know what to look for in an international school. And so going into my search for international schools for this year, I definitely felt like more ready. I knew what I wanted. I knew what I didn't want. And, you know, I was able to really like keep Harper's experiences in mind and keep her needs in mind when looking for a school. And so for me, the main things I was looking for in a school for Harper for this year, and for Jackson, because he's in school now too, is definitely obviously an English speaking school, you know, since they speak English. I was looking for diversity in the staff and the student body and the curriculum. Like I said, like a global worldview where they would be learning about the local culture, but they would also be learning, you know, different cultures as well. And I was definitely looking for something where they would be able to still be themselves and be individuals, and that we were not going to be asked to compromise, you know, our culture or our beliefs to make our kid fit into, you know, a certain box. And you guys, here I found the perfect school. Like I really don't have any complaints about their international school this year here in the UAE. Honestly, if they were able to like go to this same school in America, I would be fine with it. And I love their preschool in America, but I love their school here in the UAE just as much, which I think says a lot. So this season, they are attending a Canadian school. And so needless to say, you know, Canada and America have quite a few things in common kind of culturally. And so this is the most similar to their preschool in the United States that we have experienced. And what I love about it is that it is very, very hands-on. They are always, you know, doing like sensory activities and getting their hands dirty. They're painting, they're, you know, doing art projects. They are like learning with their hands constantly. And it seems like they do a really good job in like keeping in mind different students, different learning styles, which I think is great. They have a garden outside. They have like a little outdoor pavilion, like play area. They have a Mini Cooper parked outside that is just for the students. Like, no one drives the Mini Cooper. It is literally for the students to like wash it. They paint on it with shaving cream, like all the things. And it is a red Mini Cooper, which is pretty cool. Like I said, they have a garden, so they do gardening projects at school. And then they also have like an indoor like gym, which is like state of the art and really great for like helping them to be able to like get their bodies moving. You know, it's great, especially for like the little ones that are Jackson's age that are learning how to climb and slide and all of that stuff. It is really nice. They also have like a pretend playroom that has like different workstations. Like it has like a grocery store station, a veterinarian office station, like a hair salon station, a fire station, where they're able to kind of like try different jobs and things like that. It is really an awesome little school, and I really couldn't ask for a better place for them to be able to learn and grow while we're here. So while they are at their school here in the UAE, they are learning Arabic and French, and like I said, the curriculum is in English, and they are doing a great job of teaching them about a ton of different cultures and customs. They actually recently celebrated a holiday here in the UAE, and so the kids got to celebrate that at school as well and learn all about it. And Harper told me, you know, kind of what they did and what they learned, and so I wanted to share with you guys what she had to say about celebrating UAE Flag Day at school.
Okay guys, today is Flag Day.
So one of the coolest things about Harper and Jackson getting to go to school in different countries is that they get to learn all about, you know, different cultures and their customs. Harper got to go to school last year in Japan, and now she is going to school in the UAE, and Jackson is going to school in the UAE this year too. Today was what at school, Harper?
Okay guys, today was Flag Day.
Today was UAE Flag Day. And so what did you guys do at Flag Day?
We did activities and did a show.
You did a show?
Yes.
What song did you sing?
I don't know.
Was it the UAE National Anthem?
Yes.
Yes. That is so cool. Was the song in English or in Arabic?
I don't know.
You don't remember?
Yes.
Yes. Did you sing it?
Yes.
Did you know the words?
And I had a flag.
That is so cool. I'm so proud of you, Harper.
Whoever has a flag, then they can wave it around, and whoever doesn't have a flag, then they have to stay like this.
Okay, very cool. So they also gave Harper and Jackson UAE Flag Day goodie bags today. So Harper and I are going to see what's inside. Is this Jackson's goodie bag? No, this is yours, right?
Yes.
So what do you have in yours? Ooh.
Is it a real egg?
No, it's not a real egg, but it's like a UAE craft. Wow, is that a bracelet?
Yes.
Let's hold it up so they can see it.
Wow.
And then Jackson got, was this in your bag or Jackson's?
Yeah.
Jackson got a different kind of UAE
paint.
craft. No, these are markers.
I don't know.
Another little UAE ornament. This was also in Jackson's bag. Let's see what's inside.
What was it? What's inside?
Wow.
Oh.
Balloons. A UAE pencil. Paint. A paintbrush. A little page to paint.
Where's the one that I just
a
blew?
scratch pad.
Where's the one that I just blew?
And a cute little UAE ruler.
And a sharpener.
And a sharpener. Oh, and a little notepad. That was very special. Did you enjoy UAE Flag Day today? You did? I'm so glad. So as you guys saw, like they did a great job, teaching the kids that didn't know about UAE Flag Day all about it. Harper was saying that she was singing the UAE national anthem, which is in Arabic. I am going to try to see if she will sing that for us at some point because I definitely don't know it, and I was shocked that she knows it after only being in school here for like a month and a half. So that's pretty impressive. They also recently celebrated Diwali, I think that's how you pronounce it, which is an Indian holiday. So they're doing a great job just introducing them to a wide range of cultures. It is so diverse here in the UAE, and I think that the school also represents that diversity. The staff is pretty diverse, the students are diverse, and like I said, y'all, I really don't have any complaints. One thing that I really love about their school here is that it is child-centered, and so, they're really like invited to be themselves. They're really invited to ask questions and explore and, discover the world around them in their own way. One thing that recently happened is that I had some concerns about just like, educationally, if the work at the school was hard enough for Harper. I think that she is a little bit more advanced than a lot of the students in her class. And so I was just worried that it was like a little bit too easy, and it was kind of a review for her of things that they had already done before. And so I went, to the staff and asked them, first I asked them like if there was things that I should be doing to make sure that she didn't get behind where she was, at her school in America. And I like gave them examples of things that she had been doing before we left and asked if they were doing similar things. And then my follow-up question was if they would be able to basically support her at the level where she was at, or if I needed to really like supplement, the work to make sure that she was not getting bored, and was still being challenged. And like they were totally open and honest and willing to like partner with me to make sure that she wasn't getting behind. They, did like their own assessment of her and basically, created like an individual lesson plan for her. And so not only does she do the things that the rest of the class does, but she also does like extra work basically, or, let's say they are writing T's, like T is a letter of the week. Harper will also be writing her T's and doing her T sound, but she will also like, during a certain time of the week be like reading a book with T words with her teachers. And she's already, able to read like, beginner words. And so I really love that they were willing to do that. And that just kind of speaks to how child-centered the school is. And that is very different than our experience was in Japan, where basically, one international school that we toured, we had like the same concerns, and we were asking if they could kind of individualize things a little bit for Harper because they were trying to place her in a certain class based on her age, but the lessons for that class were like far behind what she was currently doing. And they were like, no, like we're going to place her with her age group and she's going to do the work with her age group, and that's that. And so, like, of course, these are different cultures and different environments, but for my children, I can really appreciate a place where they are able to be themselves and it's a little bit more child-centered. And so I think that is like a really good example of one of the main differences in our experience in schools here in the UAE versus schools in Japan. We have some other friends here whose kids attend a different international school, and they are also having a great experience. And quite honestly, if my husband were to play in the UAE for the rest of his career, I would feel totally confident having Harper and Jackson attend international school here, long term. Like we've had that good of an experience and I've heard so many great things, and there are a lot of international schools here that offer, a lot of different things. Like I said, my kids go to a Canadian school, my friends' kids go to a British school, so there is something for everyone here. However, just like with this lifestyle and basketball, it can be a little bit volatile and we don't really know what's to come, whether we will be staying in the UAE long term or whether we will be moving on to another country. And so as of now, we are thinking that when Harper starts kindergarten next year, she will be starting at a private school in the United States. But who knows, you know, we'll see. Regardless, though, of what's to come, I'm just really thankful that, you know, my 4-year-old has lived in 4 countries and had all these educational experiences, because I really truly do feel like she is the most resilient and adaptable person, and that she has taken a little piece of all of these cultures, of all of these schools, and that they are just making her into the most well-rounded, brilliant little girl ever. And again, I think that it says just as much that she, you know, has left a little piece of herself in each of these places as well.